My name's Christante, and I'm from Alberta, Canada. I met a woman when I was 34 years old, and after I knew her for only a week, I moved into her house. And I was in the backyard one time at her place, and she sold Christmas trees, and I was helping her sell her Christmas trees in the back. And she comes out and she says, "Would you like to get married?" And I said, "Well, I don't really know you very well." "Well, you've known me for 3 weeks. Don't you love me?" And I said, "Well, sure, I guess so. Yeah, sure, I love you." "Well, let's get married," she said. "I'll set it all up." So we phoned our friends. We need people to stand up for us. And we phoned both of our closest friends, and they said, "We're not standing up for you. You don't even know this person. How's this going to last?" So they turned us down. So we had to go downtown, this little small town that we lived in with about 8,000 people. We had to find a couple people to stand up for us. So we needed a couple of witnesses. So we went downtown and we went to a little pool hall, and we found two 18-year-old kids. And we asked them, they said, "Can you stand up for us at a wedding? Because we need a couple of witnesses." And they said, "Sure, why not? This would be great. This is like a one-time opportunity to do something to somebody we don't even know. We just met. Sure, why not?" So I told Gina, my wife, I said, well, before she was my wife, I said, "I don't have any money for a ring." And then we thought, well, why don't we go to one of the Christmas trees that we sell and take the price tag off and just use the wire and use it as a wedding ring? I said, "Sure, why not? Let's do that." She says, "I don't care. I just love you." So we took the wire and wrapped it around her finger and used it as a wedding ring. And we got married at the Justice Peace in this old man's house downstairs. And it might have cost us, I think we needed $40 or something to give it to him. And went downstairs, got married, and then we went to this small town out of town, about 40 minutes out of town. And that's where we had our honeymoon. We went to the bar and got drunk. That's the start of my life, anyhow, of doing that. And then what else did we do? We ended up, after I was single, and then overnight, I was married with a 2-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy. And I helped her raise her family. And she said, "Well, do you want a child?" And I said, "No, because I've got Tourette's. I don't want to pass it on to anybody. I don't want to be responsible for somebody. I don't want to be responsible for a little girl or a little boy that comes into life and they got to go through what I went through." Because kids in high school are not good. They're not very nice. They're actually fucking asses. So I sacrificed not having my own family, my own children, so I could cut the cord so I wouldn't pass it on to anybody else, because it's a hard life having a condition called Tourette's. So I found out later that it's not hereditary. I talked to my mom and she said, "You weren't born with Tourette's." She says, when you came into this life, you didn't have no tics or anything like that. But when you're 2 years old, she said, you started going like this for some reason. She didn't understand why. Because I was raised by a father that wasn't my own father. And I was a burden to him. And he verbally, mentally, and physically abused me all my childhood. And that condition was caused by him from all the stress that he did to me. And it ended up being about 2 years old, my mom said. That's when she noticed it. So it took about 2 years to create this condition from when I was born till then. So just so you know that if you guys know that, if you know that you weren't, if you think that you were born and you think it was hereditary, maybe it wasn't. Look back, and if you ended up getting it later on, when you're maybe 5 years old or something like that, later on, wondering why you got it, is because you were stressed out. People were stressing you out at a young age, and your muscles don't forget about it. It gets into your muscles, and it stays there, and then it ends up being a condition. It turns into a condition. It's because of your past, of what happened in your life when you're younger, because that's what happened to me. I wasn't hereditary. So I just thought that bring on to you and, bring it up and tell you that, hey, some of us just don't have the luck, I mean, there's a reason for everything, why everything happens, but I want to bring this up to you that, Tourette's may not be hereditary. And my marriage lasted 11 years. So, you know, somebody that I knew only for 3 weeks ended up being 11 years. So I did the best I could, but you know what? Next, you got to move on, right? So that's my story for that. And I'll talk to you soon again. Okay. Okay. Bye.